One of my favourite movies as a kid was The Princess Bride. So I was a little sad recently to hear that William Goldman, who wrote the screenplay, recently passed away. And it got me wondering if the art of storytelling has gone forever. And by that, I mean parents or grandparents reading a bedtime story to their children. But then I had a flashback of 2 years ago where I interviewed Natalie from Moonlight. I think it was on episode 160. So I wanted to check how she was getting on. And following her massively successful launch on Kickstarter, Moonlight has gone on to be the #1 children's reading toy. But it's back on Kickstarter with a gold story projector in an effort to help strengthen children's literacy across the nation. But there was another twist on it with a brand new limited edition rose gold story projector, all in efforts to help strengthen children's literacy across the nation and indeed the world. So Natalie launched her initial prototype and concept on Kickstarter, and funding goals were overwhelmingly surpassed, with more than 60 million to date on the product's original video. But tapping into that existing momentum, the brand is also setting out on a mission to raise awareness of the benefits of reading and ultimately give back to the community. And for me, that sounded like the perfect opportunity to get her back on the show today. But what do you think? As you wish. So buckle up and hold on tight, so I can beam your ears all the way to Canada, so we can speak with Natalie again from Moonlight, who's going to give us an update on what she's been up to. So a massive warm welcome back to the show, Natalie. We spoke on episode 160 2 years ago, so I suspect we do have a few more listeners on board. So for anyone that is new, can you just remind them a little bit about your inspirational backstory that took you from being a Google software engineer turned entrepreneur, and where you created a unique device that you launched on Kickstarter? Because it's a fantastic journey you've been on.
It really has, and thanks for having me back on the show. So much has happened, I guess, in the last 2 years, but, kind of where this all started, and to just kind of remind, everyone who may be new. Moonlight is just a little storybook projector that clips onto nearly any phone or tablet, and it turns your device into a children's storybook projector. And, I came up with this idea through a very kind of organic experience that I would have with my daughter, where, from time to time I would bring my cell phone up into her room, and I would use the flashlight of the phone to make little shadow puppet stories with her. And she just really loved this experience so much. And that's kind of when the light bulb turned on, and I got the idea for Moonlight. And then it launched on Kickstarter literally pretty much exactly 2 years ago today.
When it went on Kickstarter, it hit the roof, didn't it? I think it had like 60 million video views, and it went crazy quite quickly, didn't it?
Yeah, it was way more than I ever expected would happen. I think that it was just something that I think parents all over the world could maybe visualize themselves doing with their child. And yeah, it was, it ended up being one of the best children's Kickstarters, ever, which was a pretty big accolade at the time. But at the same time, I had to worry and develop a team quickly and start getting delivery happening. So it was a lot of work, but it was such a great experience.
And what I love about it as well is I think it puts a modern twist on the traditional storytelling. And equally, I think it also unites different generations around the ancient art of storytelling. And essentially, it brings your child's favourite tales to life by using a projector that pretty much just clips onto the back of your smartphone flashlight to project vibrant stories or images to the surface. But can you just set the scene and tell them exactly what it is and how it works?
Sure. So, Moonlight is just kind of a cute little simple device that has zero electronics in it, and all you do is you clip it onto your phone or tablet, and it uses the flashlight of your device to project children's storybook images onto the ceiling or wall. So you can imagine that there's these big, bright storybook images projecting in a dark room while you're snuggled up with, your kid or your two kids or whoever it is, your significant other. They like children's stories. And as you're reading these stories, all of the words to the story are on the screen of the phone within the Moonlight app. And then we've added in some magical kind of little extras. So there's sound effects that we add to the stories. There's background music. So, imagine you were projecting a big storm scene. We can add in a crash of thunder to really make that whole room come to life, which is super fun.